Hey, it's Dr. Ron here from the Mental Health Gym, Rejuvenating University, and the whole Rejuvenating Revolution. And I'd like to ask you a question today that I suspect not many people have asked you. The question is, how relevant are you? When I began to study the aging process and look at some of the fears that people have about aging, one of the things that I found, along with fears of running out of money, fear of losing health, losing your mind, fear of just losing connections and with others, and so on, uh, a fear that perhaps is understated, underreported, is the fear of becoming irrelevant. Now, the dictionary defines relevance as being closely connected or appropriate to what is being done or considered, appropriate to the current time, and so on. When we go through life, we are so busy sometimes with raising families, with raising, with proceeding on the job and so on, that sometimes we forget about the nature of how relevant are we. Do we come home, eat dinner, turn on the TV, and not worry too much about what's going on with ourselves relative to others? Too many people reach retirement age, for example, without having a real sense of relevance, that they're relevant to their children, if they don't have children, whether they're relevant to others, whether they have meaning in their lives, and so on. It's a real fear and a real concern to a lot of people, and it's totally preventable if we can be proactive. So today, I really want to make people aware of the fact that irrelevance occurs, the fear of irrelevance is a real thing, and there are things we can proactively do to stay relevant and be the best versions of ourselves. When I wrote the book, Rejuvenating, the Art and Science of Growing Older with Enthusiasm, I particularly focused on enthusiasm because I think it's an underrated emotion. I think that it drives so many meaningful things that we do in life. So I think whatever age you are, I want to encourage you to be in touch with your passions and what you can be enthusiastic about. Because if you're enthusiastic about anything, whether it runs from a career to the development of your family, to politics, to art, to whatever it may be, if you're enthusiastic, then you're likely to stay interested. And I encourage people to be enthusiastic about as many things as they can be. You can always moderate it, but if you're enthusiastic, it drives your ability to stay connected with others. It drives your ability to keep your mind active, your brain working, and it drives your desire to make sure that you're doing the right things to stay healthy so that you can pursue your passions. So it becomes very important to recognize that if we want to stay relevant, that it's not something that you decide on one day and just become relevant. You develop a support system and a system of people who are dependent on you so that they want you to be involved. They want to be uh, your peers or the people that you look up to as role models. And wherever you are in the aging process, people will reach out to you. So the critical thing as we move forward is to recognize that if we don't feel relevant, it's a killer for enthusiasm, and it may make us do some things that work against our total development, like not caring how we eat or take care of our bodies or um, interact with others and so on. The time to do it is now, wherever you are in the lifespan. the time to do it is to do a check on yourself. See, are you relevant? Are you fearful of becoming irrelevant? And proactively doing something about it. Just like enthusiasm tends to be an underrated emotion, I think irrelevance tends to be a fear that's not as widely recognized. Purpose of the video is to encourage you to do some self-examination in this regard, think about it, and move forward in doing so, in doing something so that you continue to stay relevant throughout your life. I'd be interested in hearing from you, and if you have some comments on what things you do to make sure that you stay relevant. It's not an ego thing. It's not a just kind of a narcissistic thing to want to be relevant. It's a human thing. So any advice that you can pass along, please do so. And until next time, this is Dr. Ron Kaiser. Hope you'll join the Mental Health Gym if you haven't done so already, and looking forward to speaking with you next time.